Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money no matter what's happening, then subscribe to this channel, right? Make sure you hit the alerts bell so you know when we are going live. And of course, if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up. Let's welcome everybody who's joining. Lawson Smith, hi from Oregon. Oklahoma, Flipped Burger first on the stream. Welcome. Kentucky, Georgia, right? Somebody finally caught the stream on time. We appreciate you having us. Okay, Nikki's back in the UPS box. Appreciate you tuning in. London, Illinois, right? Stuck in Atlanta traffic, right? All right, we have Budapest, Thailand. Richard Barry gives me some loves. You were right. No FOMO. No FOMO. Okay, Columbus, Ohio, Arkansas, right? King Sprott, I believe that's Tennessee. Lawn Shark out there, right? We have Virginia. People coming to us from Africa, Michigan, okay? Tugay wants to know, Bill, what are you buying or selling? Hey, good question. We are going to talk about the altcoins that might survive this shit show. That emphasis is on might, not investment advice, but we are going to talk about it, right? All right, so New York City, Andres, welcome, right? Raj likes my analysis. Thank you. We have Yorkshire, England, Greece. All right, folks, guess what? Guess what? It's Friday, and I'm freestyling it today. We're going to do the market update straight from software programs. So no PowerPoint. I know people like PowerPoint, or maybe they don't. But today, we are freestyling it. So let's go to Glassnode. Right? Ethereum perpetual funding rate. All right. So when it's bullish, when people are bullish, it's green, meaning longs pay shorts. It's kind of how the derivatives world works. And when it's red, everyone's bearish because shorts are paying longs. Now, as you might suspect, particularly since we're in a highly volatile market, when everyone gets bullish ETH and it goes green, what happens to the market? And when everyone gets bearish, what happens? Whoop. Okay. So as you can see on the far right, all right, we had like 3 or 4 green days, right? That was the FOMO that I told you, not the FOMO, right? And then it goes slightly red as people get bearish, which I'm sort of inclined to fade, sort of. All right. So just want to keep you updated, because we will be tracking funding rates. We will be tracking this as a metric. Now, this is on TradingView, my crisis watch list. Let me ask you a question. Do I really need to go into detail? Do I really need to tell you that the situation, the geopolitical war situation, is worse than anyone thinks it is? That it could get much worse? Probably not. So let's not be depressing. Instead, let's go to a watch list where we can look at what's going on in certain sectors and certain instruments. So maybe you can plug it into your trading view and you can watch it too. All right. So let's start with S&P futures, right? Stocks. So 43.05 was support. And so far that's holding. because, as we all know, everything is bullish in equities, no matter what's happening. So it looks like support is holding. So that could mean it's not an apocalypse for crypto. It might actually be a dip buying opportunity. Yesterday, I was like, let them kill it into the close. They killed it into the close, and then they killed it again, right? So everyone's all negative, all messed up, right? Just like everyone was all messed up at the top. And I'm interested in maybe doing some shopping, right? Maybe not today, but maybe like 1 or 2 days from now, maybe this thing is worth picking up, okay? Ronnie says VeChain is very undervalued. Also look at QNT. All right, let me put QNT on the watch list, right? Because that is another play that I'm interested in. All right, now let's talk about why the market's down today. All right, this lovely chart is of European banks. So here's the deal, folks. If the ruble collapses and Russian banks have serious problems, right? Or Russian companies can't pay their loans back because nobody will buy Russian oil, okay? European banks have just broken a support, and they have 22% downside. Now, 22% in crypto is a Monday through Wednesday, but European banks in stocks, that's really dramatic, okay? Now, speaking of dramatic, here is the US dollar versus the Russian ruble. Okay, so dollar up, ruble down. Okay, everyone took profits, and now the ruble is headed for 132. Right? If the ruble breaks 132, nothing's going to stop it. So the higher the dollar goes, the lower the ruble goes, the more angry Vladimir Putin's going to get. Now let's talk about the dollar, because this is the chart of the day. Because folks, if you're not watching DXY, then you're going to get wrecked, okay? It's as simple as that. The dollar has broken out of an expanding range formation. What's an expanding range? Well, it's a very powerful consolidation formation. So if the dollar breaks out and keeps going, the dollar could go, the index itself could go 3% higher. So if the dollar's 3% higher, that probably means crypto could get washed out 5 to 6%. Now, why is the dollar going up? Well, because as we showed earlier, there's a problem with the euro, right? This is the euro versus the dollar, right? There's no support until 107, 1.07. It's currently at 1.09. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot, as you can tell by these red candles, okay? Next problem, wheat, food. Right? Pretty much limit up every day for the last 3 days, and resistance is well above the market. So food, inflation, oil also up, right? It was down and then it came back. Let's see what U.S. crude is doing. So here's a green candle in U.S. crude oil futures, right? Now, the last thing I want to look at is something in crypto, all right? A lot of people think, and it's not ridiculous, that everybody in Russia has got to buy Bitcoin, therefore Bitcoin is going up. So Bitcoin in terms of the ruble, right? So people buying Bitcoin with the ruble were paying prices that were way up near the November highs. So they were paying in dollar terms like $59K for Bitcoin. So it's possible that FOMO, in terms of, this idea that everybody in Russia's got to buy Bitcoin, that may be true, but that may be on hold for a day. And that's why the market trades so shitty. Now, let's jump into altcoins, and then I'll go back to the tactical view on Bitcoin and Ethereum, because I know y'all love altcoins, right? So this is Luna. Let's talk about Luna. Luna has resistance at 92, but notice it's not backing off. Now, I'm not necessarily into FOMO, but this moving average system shows that the trend is your friend. Okay? The trend is your friend. If Luna takes out 92, okay, Luna can go to 140, right? All right. So this idea that legacy money may have to come in to the crypto space could benefit Luna. So if Luna breaks out, I would be inclined to go with it. Now, VeChain. Let's talk about VeChain. Let me adjust this. I just saw an article that said the hottest jobs over the next 2 years are going to be in supply chain and logistics management. Interesting, right? Now, again, VeChain is an altcoin that has gotten beat up on, right? VeChain rallied and then got rejected. But if VeChain actually could turn around and take out 0.0612, VeChain is worth a look. Because as somebody just noted, VeChain has gotten destroyed. Now, I know VeChain, like many other altcoins, is highly speculative. And I do not recommend catching the falling knife here. Because if VeChain goes below, say, 0.0444, right, then it's done. Okay? So, but keep that in mind. Now, Rune, okay, an altcoin project that I think is very interesting, not investment advice, right? Red Phone Crypto brought this to our attention. Now, Rune has taken out a level we discussed yesterday at 520. Okay. So right now, Rune is on a trajectory to have a good week. Now, you would really get bullish Rune if this thing turns around today and say you take out the recent highs at $6. Okay, that's probably the level that triggers a bigger rally in Rune. I would not FOMO in right now, okay, because it's actually up a lot. Now, continuing with coins that we think can actually outperform, or may outperform, I should say, let's look at Cosmos. All right, so Cosmos is getting hit today. Cosmos was not able to hold a key level at 33.15. All right, we'll take a look at Cosmos in a second. All right, but Cosmos is actually on an uptrend. So once people are done taking profits in Cosmos, if there's going to be a dip and you can buy that dip, and of course that's an if, Cosmos may be one of the plays. Okay, QNT. This is an 8-hour chart. Let's go to the weekly. Let's just check out what's happening this week. Okay, so QNT on Binance, right? Okay, you've got a really interesting stalemate candle on the weekly chart that seems to be very far away from where the moving averages are. Sometimes when you have that kind of reversal candle, all right, things can turn around quickly. So if the market stabilizes and it's not a crash, right, QNT is something I'm willing to talk about. All right, now let's go back to the chat, right, see what we got going on here. All right, we have requests for Sol, Matic, and Hex. I will do my best. All right. Also, Flow. Okay. Okay, Celeb wants to know, is Luna a good shorting opportunity? Well, Luna is against resistance. It's probably a consensus long. However, since it won't back off of resistance, I don't know that Luna would be something that I would short. Not investment advice. Not trying to talk you out of a trade. The time to do shorts is against resistance. But, I would watch total value locked. If total value locked in Luna starts falling apart, which, oh, by the way, we can go to on DeFi Llama. Look, I had it all queued up for you, right? Total value locked is only down a little bit, but it's still at its high. So if the total value locked in Luna doesn't go down, Luna's probably not going to go down, right? If total value locked rolls over, okay, yeah, then there's profit taking coming in. Okay, somebody did mention, right, on the geopolitical situation that, you know, to be balanced, you know, the United States has done some things in the Middle East, right? And I believe the point the person was trying to make is that, you know, the world didn't end back then. Just remember, Bill, mirror your takes with the fact that the U.S. did the same thing in several Middle Eastern countries, and we are all still here. Okay, this is true. This is true, right? The United States invented this regime change style military action, no doubt, all right? But the people that we were fighting against, and the United States was fighting against, did not have nuclear weapons. So this is a whole different ballgame. Also, the sanctions on that giant country, right, could create an economic depression in that country, which could have a ripple effect, maybe not, but it could, right? Which is why you have to pay particular attention to what's going on with some of the things I covered at the start of the video, all right? Marco wants to know what could trigger something in Polkadot, okay? And Andre wants to know, you know, give us a short play. All right, let's talk about that. So honestly, I think if there's a short play, right? Whoops. Okay, let's go to stocks. So here's what I would do on a short play, honestly, right? This is SPY, okay? And I know that there are different ways to play the stock market, but it looks like they want to buy the market, right, back up, but they may not be able to buy it above 436 in S&P, SPY. Now there's a 12 here, which means a 13 bottom could be coming, which could also mean there could be a rally in stocks if there isn't a calamity over the weekend. I think in equities, selling strength is the way to go because crypto may do well as a safe haven, right? Crypto gets killed first, then equities go lower later. So if there's a rally in equities, right, I would say sell the rally in equities between now and the inflation number. Again, not investment advice. Just based on this chart, you know, if S&P gets above 435, it could go higher, right? If S&P can't get through 435, then that could be a short selling opportunity. All right, let's go to Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, so this is the 90-minute chart of ETH. Now, I would say I was looking at 2,700 to hold in ETH, right? So we're currently trading at 2688. So this demarker indicator down here, so this is the 90-minute chart of ETH. This demarker indicator down at the bottom can indicate pretty intense volatility, and it may be hinting at a bottom. So if ETH does not make a new low today and people have gotten super bearish, actually would take a shot at being long ETH with a stop at 2,600. Not investment advice, right? In other words, it was a short up here, and at some point over the weekend, it may be worth it to try to take a shot at ETH around 2,600. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. All right, now, Bitcoin does not look as good, although Bitcoin does have this volatility warning thing. So up here, it was the warning of a top. Down here, it could be the warning of a bottom. It might take a day or so. But remember what I was saying, where was support in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin had support at 41K. Now, it's not showing up on the daily chart necessarily. It is right here on these moving averages. So do you see this red and green line here? That's the support in Bitcoin. I guess it's around 40K. So if there was ever a time to be bullish Bitcoin, right, it would be when everyone is selling it, which is today, right? Everybody was bullish at 45 and everybody wants to sell at 40. I would be more inclined to get long, right, with a stop, right, either at 39 or worst case 37. Now, if you want the juicy long, I think it's 37, because Bitcoin just goes back and forth, right? Everybody gets bearish, it goes up. Everyone gets bullish, it goes down. Okay, now somebody was asking about Polkadot. Let's get over to my layer 1 screen and see what's happening if we can pull up Polkadot. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart of Polkadot, right? It's not near any automated DeMark support, although it is pretty obvious it's near support near $17. So DOT doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look good either, right? You have to remember, Cosmos may be the layer 0 that eats Polkadot's lunch until Polkadot's operational, right? Now, Near Protocol, you know, I want to like Near, right? It's one of the things that, you know, I actually charted for today, right? But again, every time it rushes up to 12, it stops and goes down. Now, that doesn't mean Near is terrible. It actually may mean Near is a buy on a dip, right? Which could be today. Now, I'm keeping everything in probabilistic language, but altcoins I'm interested in, and I'm charting closely. Okay, not investment advice. VeChain, Near, Cosmos, Rune, and Quant, QNT. Okay, let's go over to the metaverse briefly. Okay, Vulcan, again, everyone's selling it, right? Everyone loved it at 12 when it was a 9 top. Now you're probably looking at a 9 bottom around 10. So again, more inclined to try to get long and use a stop, especially if there's despair at the end of today. Okay, Solana, something similar, right? 9 bottom at 90, right? And then here we are at 91. Now, either everything's going to crash or Solana's going to actually hold in and bounce. Now, I don't know if Solana is the best long play in the world, but, you know, I don't want to sell support. And there's support at 92. All right. Okay, so someone's asking for Rose. Here's Rose, conveniently, right on the tab. So Rose has got support probably near 24 cents even. Notice how this was, you know, all the way up, and this top took a long time to develop. This is a 4-hour chart, right? So everybody got bullish. It slowly topped out, and then it looks like everybody puked it today. All right. I know a lot of people ask for crypto.com. All right. Now, crypto.com could have been part of the FOMO, right? Could have been part of everybody's FOMO, like, oh, you know, everybody's going to have to get into crypto. You know, I thought crypto.com could maybe make a new high. Now crypto.com seems to be below support, right? So if crypto.com can stabilize and bounce, right, it might be okay. It might be okay, right? Let's continue. Okay, let's let synthetics come up. Again, break-in support, right? So in some of these places, some of these coins, right, triple bottoms don't hold. That's what they say. right? Triple bottoms don't hold. So if synthetics is below, say, 376, then it's got problems. All right, let's see what other requests we have. Someone's asking for Tornado Cash. I want to make sure I get all the big coins covered. Wow. Okay, so here is an example of what can happen, right? Let's go to Tornado Cash on this system. Right. One thing that happens a lot in Tornado Cash, right, is that everybody buys the privacy narrative and then bag holders get out. So when it comes to Tornado Cash, okay, you'll know something has changed if it gets above this fractal at 51. All right. So if Tornado Cash, after everyone takes profits, right, this is the other argument, right, that if Tornado Cash is above $51.69 on the close, then the old resistance became support. Okay, the old resistance became support. You know, chasing stuff that's up big has not paid off in, you know, I don't even know how long. Okay. All right. Somebody's asking for dominance charts. Whoops. Let's see if I can get a dominance chart up. Okay, so this is Bitcoin dominance on a daily chart. Okay, again, very interesting picture here. It looks like Bitcoin dominance has been slipping over the last 3 days, right? It feels like actually that Bitcoin dominance has topped, which means two things, right? One, everybody FOMO'd into Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to get slammed because the dollar goes up, or Bitcoin is going to stabilize near 40, and some of these altcoins that we're talking about that are destroyed, that it appears people want to move into, can do better. So I'm more in favor of being long on a downdraft than I am being short right now. Right? All right. Let's look at additional coins. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. You know, you guys, if you like this freestyle TA where I go back and forth and check requests and do proactive work to you guys through the software programs, hit the like button. So here's Internet Computer Protocol, right? And again, if you look at the daily chart, okay, you have to ask yourself with all of these like really speculative altcoins, particularly the ones that people are coming in and asking about every day. We love to have you on the show. Just want to tell you all that I appreciate you being here, okay? But you have to ask yourself, you know, if the market is respecting a basic trend line, right? So here's the deal in ICP, right? It's kind of simple, actually, right? So support is at $18.24. If ICP holds $18.24, it might be okay, right? It's the old bump and run, right? Break out, go sideways, and then possibly go back up again. But that's going to require a crypto market rally. Now, someone's asking about Cardano. Let's flip over to Cardano. Okay. So we didn't want to sell Cardano at 75 cents, and we didn't want to buy it at $1. Okay. Okay. Nico likes the freestyle TA. Cool. Okay. Steven sold his Cosmos at 34. and wants to buy it back at 29. All right. Now, if you ask me, Cardano's got the 9 bottom, right? And then it's got the kind of final puke. It's actually got 2 pukes on the 4-hour chart. So I'm inclined, right, to like Cosmos before I don't like Cosmos. Right? It's just a simple trading range. Okay? It's just a simple trading range. Right? Or it's just a simple case of, you know, you buy it when it's supported. Now, honestly, I don't see a lot of support, but that DeMark 9 bottom is interesting to me. Let's like zero in and try a shorter term chart, right? Which sometimes you have to do to get those automated DeMark points, right? So there is support at 85 in Cardano. So you can lean on that if you want to do a long trade. And honestly, folks, like I said, the title of the video is what you need to know. What you need to know is if you're trading it from a long side, you're trading it against the major trend, right? So that's just like, you know, that's like trading. You do something, you put a stop in, and you know that's how you do it, right? And if it doesn't work, a lot of times you may be reversing. Okay. Dean says the market has made me into a full-blown schizophrenic, right? Well, Dean, let's put it this way, man. I appreciate that honesty, right? Part of what we do here on the show is crypto therapy. We actually had that as an official segment, right? Once upon a time, right, on the Sunday live stream. The most important thing that you can have is peace of mind, right? And if this market's driving you crazy, it's because the market is being driven by war, right? And war, as somebody sort of hinted at earlier, right? Perceptions about war can be driven by propaganda, right? Not just, you know, sort of enemy propaganda, but, you know, I guess Western or allied propaganda, or side A and side B to keep it neutral, right? Propaganda is not what you need to look at. You need to look at those Russian naval vessels in the Black Sea, right? And you need to ask yourself, can this get worse? The answer is yes. I mean, can you believe that yesterday a U.S. senator talked about the need for an assassination of a foreign leader? That is not historically how you stand up to any type of aggression. It's not. You don't do it with talk. And you don't do it by cutting people out of SWIFT, in my opinion. So again, if the market's driving you nuts, right, it's because it's being driven by a situation that is virtually unprecedented, namely a conflict with a nuclear-armed power. All right, so let's look at VXV. Okay, so it's below a trend line. So no matter how I draw this trend line, it seems like VXV is like, I don't know, it's trying to come back. It's trying to hold. So if I was long VXV and I saw it hold $1.77, I would be encouraged. Okay. Okay. Mateo says that guy who said that, he's not wrong, but that's not his place to say. And I agree. I agree. Okay. Somebody said, true, Bill, there's a big difference between CNN and BBC. That's true. I have to watch BBC and Sky News on my phone. By the way, I heard today on the blogosphere that BBC had to pull all of its reporters out of Ukraine because, you know, the other side is saying any disinformation or fake news is like a criminal offense, right? They actually may attack press people. So it may be harder and harder to get information, which is why the crisis watch list, right? You know, stocks, you know, US banks, XLF, right? Okay, the dollar versus the ruble, USD, RUB. This may be your CNN in a week. Okay, so tune into the video and come back and watch again if you need to. Somebody's asking for curve. Let's check that. Okay, so curve on the 8-hour chart, you know, you have to remember momentum is rolling over here in some of these coins. Let's take a look and see if we can get something on curve here. All right, so on one hand, curve is rolling over. Okay, if we look at a 4-hour chart, I try to keep the time frames consistent. Okay, so you've got a 9 bottom that's currently not working. Okay, but remember, okay, here's the 9 top, but here's this like huge thrust FOMO higher. So there may be a puke in curve. Maybe this is the puke, right? There is some support here at 233. So I would say if you're watching curve, if curve holds 233, right, then whatever made curve rally may bring curve back. Okay. Andreas asking for UMA. Let's take a look at that. Okay. We have feedback that PowerPoint is cool, but Freestyle as an addition is awesome. All right. I appreciate that. We'll take that into consideration. All right. So, you know, UMA's on a little bit of an uptrend, but there's a 9 top coming up probably in 4 hours, right? 9 top here was pretty ugly. 9 top, 9 bottom down here was pretty bullish. So you have to be a little bit careful in anything that's been outperforming the market, right? Sometimes, you know, those coins will have their days where, you know, I don't know, frankly, they just go down. Now, if we look at a bigger picture in UMA, right, they broke through resistance at 872, which was created by this 13 bottom, okay? So the 13 bottom shows up and it launches into outer space. I would say if UMA is holding like 880, that it could be okay. But based on that intraday chart, you may get a dip, right? It's risky. I know the temptation to like FOMO in is tough, but if you get that 9 top, sometimes what you get is you get the counter trend move. So you could get one more dip in UMA, but that dip may be a buy, right? Based on what's going on there on that chart. Okay, Gary's asking, what's a 9 top? Good question. So this is the work of Tom DeMark. Okay, Tom DeMark is old school, right? He was the original quant technical analyst, right? He worked for all the big hedge funds. His work is usually exclusively available on things like Bloomberg, right? Now they have an experimental chart system, right, called Symbolic that gives me the DeMark indicators, which I used when I was at Goldman. Now, what's a 9 top? A 9 top is the DeMark quant work will count a set of conditions. Like the high is higher than the high 3 days ago. That's just an example, right? It'll go, you know, the setup phase, it'll go 1 through 9. And then that little bold 9 means watch out for a reversal if it's in a range, or watch out for a counter trend move in a trend. Most of what's going on in crypto right now is range, right? Now, there's something else called sequential, which goes from 1 to 13, okay? 13 is very famous, right? So when the set of conditions gets to 13, call that a sequential top. Now, over here in UMA on the 4-hour chart, when you have a 13 and a 9 going on at the same time, well, that's kind of a whammy signal, right? That's the DeMark work going, get out. There's the signal, and then you're down almost to 8, okay? So if we're in like buy support, sell resistance, right? This is, you know, this is the tool in this environment, which is why I got it. Now, let's just check the market because, you know, this market can like go crazy while I'm talking. Okay. So let's see what ETH is doing. So ETH is trying to put in a green 8-hour candle. You know, it's kind of a dinky candle. All right. Let's see what Bitcoin is doing. Okay. there was my support at 41K, and Bitcoin is just below that, and that 8-hour moving average system not looking exciting, okay, which is why I'm in favor of let them give it to you at a good price, okay? In other words, everyone wants to be short because the greed factor and everyone thinks it's going to collapse. So yeah, Bitcoin on the daily chart looks terrible, but they're all selling it into support near 40K, right? Now, this doesn't look good on the short-term charts, which is why I want you to just leave it, right? Let them sell it to you at a good price. Okay, Steven is saying Ethereum is giving you a series of higher lows on the charts, and he's right. Okay, right? So every time Ethereum makes a low, it's higher than the other one. Okay, and Ethereum has support at 2607, which may be something you can lean on if people puke it out. Okay. Mateo says, don't short support. Okay. Is there any way to incorporate DeMark into the Token Metrics grading system? Well, no, but the Token Metrics grading system is amazing when the market is trending, or when there's an altcoin like Axia, which I know someone's going to ask about, right? When something just takes off and independently moves, right? Our AI picked up on Axia way before. So DeMark is a reversal system. Hidden pivots that I use is a reversal system, right? The Williams work with the wavy lines, right? And this oscillator, those are momentum indicators. So yesterday we talked about, Axia, possibly making a move to 1497. These like little grinding candles, I mean, the trend is your friend, right? So I guess you stay with the trend, but, I think I'm all for paying yourself if you're right and leaving the rest as a moon bag, okay? Okay, someone's talking about Wan Chain is moving. Okay, well, Wan Chain is up 65% today. So, it looks like that trade has done its thing, right? I'm kind of hoping or wondering whether or not there are other supply chain or blockchain solutions that may help alleviate some of the problems in the legacy system. I don't exactly know what happened here, but, let's hope that they can happen in some of the altcoins that we're looking at that have good charts. And again, it's not investment advice, okay? Not investment advice. Okay, let's take a look at, right? Now, I know we have a loyal reader who's into Jasmine, if I'm pronouncing that right. Folks, I got to tell you, when you have these fractals, right? This low at 0.0148, right? If they take that out, you got to be careful of the give up trade in some of these altcoins. Ian Bellina told everybody on the the premium customer webinar, he's like, if you got shit coins, get out. You got coins that you think are no good, right? Don't stick around. So if you have new lows in Jasmine, okay, and you have to take the tax loss, it's not investment advice. Now, if you believe in it, I don't know. Support is at 0. I mean, that's all I can tell you in coins that are destroyed like this. Okay, let's go over. Somebody's asking for Woo Network and Phantasm. Okay. So let's do Matic first because I had an early request for that. So Matic has the 9 bottom, but it's not bottoming yet. I think the best support in Matic is $1.45. Right. That's where the support is. But, I'm more inclined to be long than short at these levels. Right. Not investment advice. Okay, somebody wants to know if they should sell API 3. Okay, so let's check API 3. See what's going on. Okay, so on the intraday chart, you're headed for a 9 bottom, but you could also be headed for more down because the red numbers could go all the way down to a 13. So it's mixed. Let's take a look at the daily chart, and then I'll tell you what I really think. So you have a 13 top on the daily chart, right? And it's breaking moving average support along with this warning about volatility. Now, when someone asks, should I sell? Honestly, they've answered their own questions. Should you take profits? Should you pay yourself when you're right? Should you reward yourself, right? Do you work hard at work and expect not to get paid? No, you work hard, you make good decisions, you get paid. So if you have to pay yourself, pay yourself. If you want to keep part of the position, all right, keep part of the position. But frequently, if you take some of the money off the table, right, it allows you to keep the balance of the position. Move your stops up. The most important thing is to have an investment strategy and trading positions that help you sleep at night. All right. We have XRP. Okay, so there's support in XRP at 73 cents, but that seems to be something like where I'm repeating myself, where like every time XRP goes down, I go, okay, this is the next support point. Now, the good news in XRP is that there's a 9 bottom. Okay, so when there was a 9 top, XRP went down, and now there's a 9 bottom. So if XRP really is going to live up to the lore of being an alternative payment system, you should see that now, right? Because if you don't see that, XRP is going down. But if you do see it, right, then this XRP narrative, there's some hope for that, right? There's some hope for that. Okay, Woo Network. Okay, let's get a 4-hour chart of that. All right, our fundamental guys are not big fans of DEXs. So the thing that strikes me about Woo Network is that it's just in this range between 33 and 53, and nobody seems to want to pay higher prices to get it, right? So if it breaks out, it would be great, right? And it doesn't have a big price history, at least here, right? Somebody has to be willing to pay higher prices. Now, honestly, there was a 9 bottom. It tried to get going. All right. So I would say this is neutral. All right. Support is right at 46 cents. So you're going to need a rally in Ethereum to help some of these other altcoins, right? You're going to need a rally in Ethereum to help altcoins. Okay, Steve J says we need to end the Fed. Okay. Nico giving me love from the New York Rangers. I appreciate that. Give me some soul, please. I always try to get that on this system. I don't have it here. So let's check. Let's check Phantasm because I know people are hanging on for that. All right, so in Sol, we have a key level at $1.22. Right. So it's pretty much this simple. If $1.22 holds in Sol, it's okay. And if $1.22 doesn't hold, it's not okay. All right. Any kind of like speculative metaverse coins, this may be true. One of the things about war that's really difficult is things like Bitcoin or Ethereum that are a medium of exchange, okay, they can survive. Now, if Sol holds support, that means there's buyers down there and this thing could turn around and go up, right? But you have to be intellectually honest with your positions, right? Now, this has nothing to do with Sol, but it's like, don't get what they call dogmatic. Don't marry a project. If you like the project and you're hodling it, great. You need me to charter for you? No problem. All right. Just be honest if there's a breakdown and have a plan about what you're going to do. Okay. Someone's asking me, am I a buyer of hope or a seller of hope? All right. In military terms, hope is not a tactic. Okay. Hope is not a tactic. Now, we can be positive crypto, and that crypto is good for human freedom. Okay. That means any human that had their purchasing power taken away from them without their consent, regardless of what country they live in. Okay. So, we can be hopeful about crypto. Okay. But I don't want to be hopeful, right, when a military situation can get a lot worse. Inflation, which was already out of control, is going to get more out of control, right? In other words, what happens if oil goes to $200 a barrel in the summer? I mean, is that positive for risk assets? I don't think so, right? So that's why I want you to pay very close attention, because in the altcoin world, not everybody's going to win. Not everybody's going to win. Okay, so let's take a look at Stratos. Somebody is really pumped up about it in the chat. Definitely love people's enthusiasm. Okay, I only have it versus wrapped ETH. All right, so, Stratos is outperforming ETH, but this is a very low dollar coin. So I think I'd have to look at it more. Let's try to look at a daily chart. Okay, and again, this is versus ETH. So, I mean, you can say it's outperforming ETH, but it's actually got to go higher before you can say it's out of the woods. Because remember, this moving average system is turning lower. So I want you to be enthusiastic about your altcoins. This is outperforming today. That's good. But it's probably got to get above, right, 4 zeros and 5.9 to get going. Okay? To get going. So if Stratos really is like the future, then you're going to see it continue to outperform ETH. Okay, let's see if we can call it up here. Okay, so here comes Stratos versus the dollar. Okay, so different read than versus ETH. Obviously, we have a better idea of the price action, right? So they took it up to $1.60 and they brought it back down. Now, again, what you got to be careful of in these altcoins is what I call the double spike. So Stratos went way up. It's not quite a double spike, right? It went way up, but it keeps making, lower highs. Now, let's try to look on the bright side and find a support point. It looks like the entire rally took off from right there. Okay, it's actually a little bit above that. So that level is $1.25. So, if they're killing it, right? In other words, buy support, right? Don't buy anything, not investment advice, particularly in something like this that's getting destroyed. But if you're inclined to like it, right, you got to be inclined to stay with it if it's on support. Don't sell support, buy support. Okay, Ahmed saying the pump, was it getting listed on exchanges? Okay, I get that, right? So now it's at support. And if your theory is right, okay, then, this thing should turn around and go a lot higher. Okay, Lightspeed is saying I'm absolutely getting married to QNT to the moon. Okay, one thing you gotta respect is conviction. Let's take a look at QNT on this chart. If we haven't already, we'll do a repeat. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. All right. So like a lot of things that outperform, okay, when they start to underperform or when profit taking comes in. So here's the warning sign, right? And then I think with this, if you're going to buy it and you want it and you like it, then you want to get set up to buy a dip, right? That dip could be 113, 114. That's a guess right there on this moving average. Okay, so let's go back to the 4 hour. Okay, you know, when you talk about watch lists, you know, this kind of stuff, right, where, you know, it can be an alternative payment system, it could be really important. All right, folks, I got to wrap it up today at the top of the hour. I want to take a minute to say goodbye. Okay. Okay, somebody is asking for Hex. So let me see if I can get Hex up here. Okay, it doesn't come up on that chart. So let's do some Hex here. Okay, that is wheat futures, not Hex. Okay, so there's Hex getting a little bit hit today. Let's just make sure I got the right chart by going to another exchange. Okay, that's probably not Hex. Stay with me. I'm going to bring Hex up here. Okay, here comes Hex. All right, so Hex headed for support. Okay, not the greatest picture in the world. Let me tell you where I think support is. Okay, so I think what you're going to want to see in Hex, let's try a 2-day chart or a 3-day chart, see what it gives me. Okay, so the support zone in Hex, this was the original takeoff point. So I would say the bottom of the support zone in Hex is at 12 cents, right? 0.124. Now, if that doesn't hold, you have to remember there are a lot of really big Hex whales, right? And if they're unloading, you know, this thing could get hurt. So let me just label this as the 3-day chart. Definitely appreciate you coming to the stream. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, we did Sol. All right, and then I'm going to do, this is, oh, we didn't do Phantom. So let's try to find Phantom on our charts and talk about that. Okay, total value locked went up on this like mercenary capital in DeFi, and then it turned around and disappeared, meaning the actual DeFi capital. So this is an example of something you got to be careful with, right? You got to be careful with this. Okay, here's the 9 bottom in Phantom, but all you got was like a little miniature nothing bounce, and now the trend is resuming. So I would say that Phantom's got to be above $1.72 before I would consider longing it. Okay, so that's going to be it for today, folks. I appreciate everything you did, Amy. So much love to you. Okay, folks, over the weekend, remember, make them sell it to you at a good price if you're inclined to buy the dip. Do not underestimate the geopolitical situation. Look at the facts, not propaganda. All right. I will be here on Monday Feel free to leave a comment if you like the freestyle only format. I will be happy to bring back the PowerPoint if you like it. If you like the PowerPoint, let us know in the comments below. And of course, I would ask that you hit that like button because that helps us get the message out to other people. All right. So this is Bill Noble from Token Metrics. I will see you on Monday.